welcome to the Reflection Show. My name is Martha Anabida. There are lots of times that we go to work and we don't even know the do's and don'ts of the kind of work that we do. We need to be safe and stay healthy at our workplace. Today we'll be looking at occupational health and safety. I have with me here great personnel who will be giving us the kind of content and information that we need for us to stay strong and healthy at our workplaces. I'll be speaking with Mr. Aganajo Sam and Madam Nashira Isa. They are all from the Department of Factories Inspectorate. Hey, Ruffle, I hope I got that correct. And then here in Tamale, and they're giving us that kind of education and information. So please stay glued to your sets, especially if you work at a very corporate environment or a factory or places whereby you have to mix with chemicals and etc., or the hospitals. You just have to listen to this episode because it's going to give you more information on how to stay safe at the workplace. Let's go for a break. When we are back, we delve straight into the discussion. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break. We're still here on the Reflection Show. Thank you very much for joining me on the show. I really appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was just saying offset that I've not really heard so much about your department. Why? What is happening? Are you not doing so much education or what? But I think that it's a very important topic, seeing some of the displays that you have here. So let me go straight. Let me start with you, sir.
Yes,
when we talk about occupational health and safety, what do we mean?
occupational health and safety, we refer to the appropriate measures put in place to make sure every worker works under serene conditions in order not to contract any occupational disease to the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nashra,
Yes.
what can you add to that? Occupational health and safety.
Well, occupational health, as the name implies, occupation and health. So
The
it
work
has,
you do, how to
yes.
stay healthy
Yes.
around the work.
Exactly. So basically, it's just for the well-being of workers at the workplace. Simply, that's just it. Well-being of workers at the workplace.
And so how can we well be?
How can
we stay healthy?
Yes. So
Eh,
yes, we check out. We when we say occupational health, it has to deal with what you are doing with the kind of machines you are working with. Are they safe? The kind of environment, are they safe? The practices, at workplace, are they safe? The people coming in and out too, are they safe? Not only you, the worker, but your customers as well. Yes, and also you yourself, like maybe you have some kind of sickness or something. You come into the workplace, is it good
Okay.
for you or not? Yes, those are basic things under occupational health.
okay. So the safety aspect is what? So what's called the
So
safety.
the safety aspect is that there are measures that we put in place. Depending as we are working, we come across so many hazards on a daily basis. So depending on the type of hazard, that you know which type of measure that you have to put in place. And the hazard, they have been categorized in six groups.
Okay, take us through that.
So we have chemical hazards.
Okay.
So if someone is dealing with chemicals, at least you know the measures that he's supposed to put in place, or when it comes to work, the personal protective
Protection.
equipment that the fellow should use. When the fellow is in the cement industry, you advise the fellow with regards to what he is doing.
So the chemicals, you can look at those like in the hospitals or production or
Production
detergents
of
and
those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the other department? You mentioned chemicals.
Chemical, we have environmental hazard
Okay.
that are waste in our environment. How are they managed?
The forestry commission is an example.
No, that is it.
Okay.
Yeah. Then if you come to environmental, even under environmental, we still have radiation. You understand? Radiation, is a very dangerous thing that can affect the human system. So that one falls under environmental hazard. We have ergonomic hazards.
Okay.
Ergonomic at a stance, it refers to what the human engineering. Ergonomics, that is another name for human engineering. Your sitting posture, the way we work, we lift things. Because there are laws with regards to ergonomics. You can't be reading when the illumination is very poor. All these ones, they are parameters that at least, which can be monitored, what we call industrial hygiene survey. With the equipment, you calculate, you monitor and calculate, then to see whether it is below or above the threshold limit required. Those are the things that we normally do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nashra, I think he's mentioned 3 or so.
Yes.
Just take us through.
I would also add the biological hazard, and that one mostly has to do with the hospitals or any work environment that has to do with, you know, fluids, human fluids like saliva, blood. So when we talk of biological hazard, it could be from an organism, maybe virus, bacteria, or any microorganism. It's also a biological hazard. So those who work at the hospitals, mostly they are prone to biological hazards. Yes, I'll also add physical hazard. Physical hazard could be your equipment. Your equipment can hurt you, or anything, any item around could be a hazard. For example, we all see that this place is a certain area for eating. Okay, so assuming maybe they come and put, I don't know, they let me just set an example. Maybe these wires could be a hazard. We know it's here, but someone who hasn't been here, or someone who also works here but is not conscious,
Of the,
could trip and fall.
like the cables, electrical cables, the
Cables,
sockets.
Yes. So that this could be a hazard, because maybe the person is, maybe you are working here, but then your mind is somewhere. You don't know that there's something there. You come, trip, and you fall. So in that scenario, that is a hazard. So something that is not supposed to be at a particular place at a particular time could be a hazard too. Yeah, so I've mentioned biological, and then I've mentioned physical, and then there's the last one, which is Sagana, which one is that again?
Okay, before we go back to that,
You've
I think you
mentioned
mentioned
environmental.
environmental. Yes, while we go back to that, what should workers know before you go into, especially a new environment? You inspect the factory. So if someone has a factory, yeah, it's your department they have to call on. So what do you do? So, like, take us through the steps.
That is it.
So if I want to, let's use the common example, pure water factory is a common here. What is the processes for you? Do you give some sort of certification before they can start working? How is the process like?
I will take you back a bit.
Okay.
The Department of Factories Inspectorate is under the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations,
Oh, okay.
responsible for occupational health and safety. With that, it is mandatory that any premises that is supposed to be open as a factory must register with us before commencement of operation.
Any factory that wants to start operation must first register with you. Okay.
And which means they must give a prior notice for a pre-registration inspection to be done, conducted.
That's when the factory is built. Oh, okay. Like after you bought the equipment and everything, you have to go and inspect it before they can open.
Then when it is built, you go there. When they start operation, you go there whilst the workers are at post. That is where you check the respective hazard that each and every worker is facing. Then after that, a formal report is written to the occupier with the findings that
has been made
throughout the inspection.
Okay.
After which they will now have to will now certify that yes, they are operating under hygienic or the appropriate conditions, which our certificate will now be awarded to them.
So if you find out that they can't operate, what do you do? Do you arrest them, or do you give them some measures to follow before you go back?
Our tool to deal with offending occupiers is to prosecute them. We take them to the to court. Then our findings, then it is the court that will determine what they should do with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is it.
Okay. So naturally, I will come back to you on this. So it means that it is supposed to be that every factory that is producing something, or should pass through you. But have you had cases where people do it, like you don't even know of some people and they are operating?
Yes.
So what do you do?
Sometimes we have to go out and look for them. And the unfortunate thing is that, as you just said, they don't really know much about Department of Factories Inspectorate.
So what is happening? I think I have to come there.
Yes, we would get there. We would get there. So as my regional boss said, they are supposed to pass through us. Then we do the pre-inspections, and then we write to them So first, when we write to them, we give them some measures to follow. Like we find out where they haven't complied. We call them non-compliances. So those that they haven't been able to comply with, we, bring that to their notice. Maybe you need to do this, you need to check this, you need to do that. So if we write to them, they refuse to do it. We send a second notice, they refuse. We send a third notice, they refuse. That is where the court case comes.
This court case and all of that, in one of our episodes of gender-based violence, you look at how the court responds to these issues. Do the courts really give you the justice that you need? Because I have seen a lot of places in Tamale, it just goes like a single room with a veranda and they're producing pure water. So
Yes.
straight from the room they produce and it goes into the market. How are you able to monitor every single one of them? When you want to prosecute them, that your office gets to find them out. So you write to them to do what? So when they come with something like, okay, we don't have the money to buy all the equipment or to make it in a factory setting, do you ask them to shut down?
Unfortunately, we do not. We have a challenge as an office regarding that aspect, which we are still trying to work on. Yes, so as you said, people don't know of us, and that's one of the challenges. You go somewhere and they don't even want to listen to you. They are just like, you people again, which people are you to? In fact, harassment. And in our case, that's also a hazard. Harassment is also a form of hazard. Yes, so sometimes it's very difficult to handle certain situations. And once they hear the word factory, people assume it's supposed to be a big place with lots of workers. No. When you come to our act, okay, a factory is defined as any workplace. So even the banks, in our act, is a factory.
So you also go to inspect the banks?
Yes, we go to Bank of Ghana. We've been to Standard Chartered. We visit lots of places. The fuel and gas stations and all that. We visit all those places. So right now, it's a bit of a challenge.
Wait, you mentioned the fuel and gas station, so they also need permission for you before they can operate.
Yes.
So are you saying that all the fuel stations trooping up in Tamale all have your permission?
Not all.
No, not all.
So what do you do? Because at the end of the day, we are saying that we want to curb corruption, we want to curb insecurity, we want to curb all of these hazards and keep our people safe. But well, maybe in Tamale we are better, but you go to places like Accra or outside Tamale, and every now and then there is a fire, every now and then there was this. So if they are not given the proper systems to work with, then what is happening?
Unfortunately, I can only talk for Northern region.
Okay, so yes.
You see the two of us here. We are in charge of Northern, Northeast, Savannah, Upper West. So you can imagine, with one vehicle.
And you have to go to all these 5.
Yes.
Wow.
So assuming my regional boss decides to visit Upper West, what happens to me? I have to do the inspection all alone within here. And that is not easy. Me being smallish in the first place, me being a lady in this
I
setting.
like that, being smallish. I get that a lot of times.
Yes. Yes, it's not easy. So it's very difficult to do all that with just 2 personnel. My regional boss
Isn't that they don't employ? Come and employ me.
we wish they could.
They could, but normally it is the government who it is the government that gives the order.
But have you raised the concern as the regional
Yes.
director? Have you raised the
I've
concern?
written that there's at least we are under staff and we need external hands, and which they are working on it.
They are working on it. Come and employ me. Yeah, so I get the fact that, but what do you really expect the government to do? I think that there's a platform that duty bearers will be watching. Apart from getting staff, as a woman, you've gone to places whereby people are doing something. What do you think that they can do for you as an office and also for people to have the proper structures? Okay.
Yeah.
That's my
I
boss.
feel the prosecution is not enough.
Prosecution is only now.
You're locking the place instantly will help us to go a long way. Because imagine you have to go there first time and you will not go there and
they're looking to you and that staff. The 2 of you, they can beat you right now.
Normally we go with the enforcement of the police.
Okay.
That one, if it is they give us the right to do that, then the necessary.
And so when you lock, they're able to come to the office and follow up.
To make the follow up. So that is another tool that will
I'm glad you mentioned the police. For so long we've been on them, but I think they are helping you to go and take justice for your office. What should we know as a person? Maybe I want to go start pure water factory. I want to start a factory for washing powder. I want to start a factory for something. What advice can you give me to know and how to go about? But before we come back to that, I want us to go for a break. And then if you're watching this episode, you should know that they are doing their best, but for I don't know about other regions, but northern regions they are understaffed. So we want to appeal to you. Say you are under which ministry?
The Minister of Employment and Labor Relations.
The Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. We are saying that there are no jobs. Now there are vacancies. Employers to work there as well. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back.
Books by Pastor A.L. Fant. They are inspired by the Holy Spirit, simple to comprehend, relevant in application, and so lovely to read. Grab copies like Dynamics of Kingdom Influence, Dynamics of Ministry, Mark is King for Church Workers, Money Matters, and she calls herself a woman. This marriage must work. No more curses. Loaded mouth. Secrets of kingdom dominion. The exploits of service. Things fall apart. Church without bleeding pulpit. Singles mingle and many more.
Welcome back from the break. Occupational health and safety. I think that sometimes too, we as the people have a role to play on how to stay safe. You go and see, sometimes you see some of the posts like, do not touch. We want to touch. Or do not smoke, or do not do this here. I want to do that directly opposite as where we are asked not to do there as well. So yeah, before we went on the break, I was asking you about
the installment of a pure water
yes
factory.
So yes, how do I go about it? So right now, to do business, I want to start with pure water. How do I start so that people will not come and lock my factory?
Getting the business certificate will be the first.
Okay.
After
registration.
That is it. Then when you come to rest, at least you have to go and inspect the premises, considering the safety aspect. Have you made provision for the workers? But when you are, as a person, whatever we are, there's a need for us to have places for our sanitary conveniences. Is there any proper exit in case of emergency?
Like fire
extinguishers? Those things should be made ready or provided. Then the people coming to work, they are going to deal with what? Water, which goes to the population. How safe are they? Will they be working under hygienic conditions? At least the one handling the cutting machine, at least he should be in PPE. PPE that will not let the thing be contagious to the population or the population. So he should be provided with what? An overall, the hair net.
I've gone to some factory that you're not even allowed to wear slippers.
No, you're not. No, where the production is done, you're not supposed to.
I went to zip line, and before you enter, they will give you something to even cover your feet and all of that.
But will you believe we entered? I personally entered a place. There was a Rasta man, bare chested, and he was the one handling the cutting machine. He was packing the water, just like
wow. That. What did he do?
I asked him to stop.
Did he?
Yeah.
Are you sure that when you turn, they won't go back to the
No. They let the fellow understand the implication of what you are telling.
Yeah, they're supposed to do better.
That is it. Because I don't go there as an individual or
go there with authority from the department.
Because we work with the, once it's a government department, we are backed by an act. That is Factories, Offices and Shops Act 1970, Act 328. That is our tool that we use to work.
I think you mentioned something about the bank, like you go to the bank. Yeah. I thought that one was supposed to be inspired maybe by the Bank of Ghana or those people. So you also go to see, is that how they're counting their money or what? What do you check at the bank?
Bank, there will have a whole lot of people working over there. And the vault room, that is the vault, where the money is kept. For
the ATM. Okay, that one is
So the lighting system, how is it? Because somebody cannot be working in darkness all that while.
We'll still
Because
have it put in our pocket.
that is it.
Yeah.
Then, how safe is it? Considering Bank of Ghana internally here, people are on the second, is it first floor? Because
Yes,
only two here,
first
because
floor.
they have only two this, the ground and the first floor. So they are there when something happens. How do they get out to safety? Those are the things that we normally consider. If they are not put in place, then I advise them to do.
It's really sometimes a big challenge having people who are genuinely starting. So someone is starting. There is no money anywhere. He or she just wants to start and get enough capital to go and do some of these registrations from your department. How do you handle such cases? Natural.
Okay, so for starters, when you contact us or we find your location, basically what we do is that we do the pre-inspection, all right, then we write our findings to you as to the things you can actually do, the petty things. For example, a first aid kit. First aid kit is one of the things we look out for when we go out for inspections. So you need a first aid kit. So, well, first aid kit is not so expensive. If you go to the pharmacy, they just pack something small, you keep it. And then you also look out for, like basic things you can do just to keep the place,
So you're able
safe.
to liaise with them for them to like do the basic things.
Yes.
Like, okay, even though you've not had this in a bigger way, but
Yes.
can you do this? Can
Yes.
you do that
Yes.
while we wait for the bigger thing?
Yes.
So you're understanding like that.
Yes, so we write to them what they should actually do. So when they have challenges, they come to the office. Okay, maybe I'm a startup. These are the challenges. So basically, what can I do just as a startup? So we look at the kind of operation you do, and then we advise you on the little you can do, and then we pick it up from there.
And do you get people actually complying?
Yes, some do comply. Majority of the places I have been to do comply.
You mentioned that you are in charge of the 5 northern regions. Which, I don't know whether it's okay to ask this question, but which region is giving you kind of the issue? Like, where are you encountering some of these issues where, so that we know
Yes.
and we are able to address it? Because
Yes.
I remember when we had the data that came out that a particular region was the highest in teenage pregnancy. They got angry and they enforced their advocacy on teenage pregnancy and reproductive health. So at the end of the day, how are we able to, okay, it's northern region, okay, northern region, we are doing better, but we think the upper east can improve because they have to put A and B. It's all an education.
Yes.
Just want to let them know that they are doing well, but you as the officers expect them to do A, B, C to improve their systems over there. Yeah.
We cannot just pinpoint any particular region.
Okay.
Because we have, filling stations, they are across the 5 regions. And the brand, or those who operate under the same logo. So I can mention 2. We have Nasona, then Nagamne. These are the people, they are always pulling our necks. Speak all your grammar, they will never understand you. You say, oh, go and come, time is going. Imagine if 2
They are
people,
supposed to put a lot of things in place. You feel that if these fuel stations are able to do something like help put the systems in place, it will help you.
it will help. But the others are cooperating with us, but Nagamne and Nasona, no. As if you are at times the way they treat you, as if I said no, you've not seen me with a vis-a-vis live bowl. Why do you treat me like that? I didn't come to beg from you.
So there are people who disrespect you, look down upon you.
Look down.
Like she said, look at her body size.
No,
Yeah, I
look
get
at-
that a lot. You go to a lot of places and like, oh, are you the one? Are you working here? Are you working there? So I think that the staffing could do a big job. And in our setting, women are not so much, unfortunately to say, respected in certain kind of positions. So, and it's just you can do all of these things in the 5 northern regions as well. Now, you've mentioned that you expect that the government should add staff to the northern zone. What else are you looking for? Are you looking for more logistics? What are the things that can help you to work effectively? Let me come to you.
Yes, the first I would mention is the government should revise our act. Act 1970. I wasn't even born. Yes,
1970.
It's older, that is older than
1970.
me. Let alone her.
Wow.
1970. I've been working with the department since 2016. And people who have, been at work for a longer period will tell you they have been here for 20 years, for 30 years. They have never had Department of Factories Inspectorate. So I think the best thing to start with is to revise the act. Let people get to know of it. Let people understand that a factory it's not a place like Avnash Industries. That alone is not a factory. Here also is a factory. It's a food factory. Yeah, so they should revise the act. Let people get to know what the FOSA Act is. That's Factories, Offices and Shops Act. That's the first thing. And then as my regional boss mentioned, we need the staff strength. We also need the logistics because it's just one
So
vehicle.
you're only a department. You are not a board. You're not an authority.
That's it.
And a lot is expected of us.
So do you think that I think you should advocate to become at least a board?
Yes.
That one is, we've been fighting for it, and we are still waiting for the response.
Wow. It's really interesting to know that we have such a very important department in our lives, in our system. But no, I don't, like I said, until you got in touch with me, I didn't really even know that something like that existed. So people are there 20 years over in the civil service and they have never heard about anything about yes. It's alarming. It's I don't even know what to say. You have some flyers here. Can you just take us through them?
Yeah. These are some safety posters that at least when
show them to the camera.
Just they are about, I don't know, 15 pieces or that, because we're in a hurry.
Oh, that's fine. Just show us that people can.
These ones, if the pre-registration inspection is done, then the premises is registered. We give these safety posters as a guide. At least it will help. How safe are you at the workplace? And they come in categories: how to deal with chemicals, how to use the fire extinguisher, all like that.
Okay.
So these are safety posters to guide.
And I see what you are holding. That's the
that's the fire extinguisher. This is just a simple explanation of how to use the extinguisher.
If you've watched our episode on how to distinguish fire, I think we've done like 3 episodes. Yes, on the reflection show. Just go on YouTube, Matter Inspire. We've done like, we have about, I think 3 or 4. We done about 3 or 4 episodes on how to extinguish fires. There's some practical lessons, and this is also a way. So if you are working at a department whereby you have fire extinguishers at vantage points, do you know how to use them? When there is a level fire, are you able to quench the fire or yeah? So let's go ahead. I think I see the chemicals one.
I just wanted to add something small to this one. Are you on guard? Some people think the guard we use around machines is to protect the machine. It's not to protect the machine. It's to protect you, the individual. For example, if you go to, let me use a common example, the grinding mill.
Our local
the grinding mill, where they have the belt, it's supposed to be guarded. That guard there is not for the belt. It's supposed to, to protect you, the worker, or whoever is around that place. So, viewers, you just have to take notes. The guard is not to protect the machine, but it is to protect you yourself. That's
okay, and then the chemicals. Have you done that already?
No, I haven't done this one.
This is a chemical hazard. How are they handled?
I think I see that he's holding he's wearing a nose mask and a glove.
Yes. And then someone is wearing goggles there.
Okay.
Yes. So if you are handling chemicals, you just try to make sure you are under the right PPs. That's protective personal equipment. Yes. Okay. And then we have some rules for workplace safety. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just take us through them one by one. Just mention them and give like an explanation to it or something. So just take your time. That's your camera. At least also for young people. Later on I'll be looking at schools as well, but just come to that also for young people.
Okay, so the 11 rules for workplace safety. The first one is You are responsible for your own safety and for the safety of others. So don't think, oh, this thing lying here, I'm not the one who put it there. After all, it was Mr. A who put it there. Anyone can trip and fall. You yourself can trip and fall. So you are responsible for your own safety and the safety of others. Then the second one is all accidents are preventable. Yes, all accidents are preventable. Well, in some cases you might say, oh, we couldn't have prevented this thing. But there's something you could have done to stop that from happening. Then the third one, do not take shortcuts. Always follow the rules. Yes, those who like shortcuts, oh, let me just do it this way. Everything we have protocol. That's why we have something called SOP, a standard operating procedures. Yes, every workplace where there's, there are workers, they should have some kind of standard operating procedures. Don't do this, do that. You should follow some protocols to get things done. Don't try to take shortcuts. If you are not trained, don't do it. So if you are not trained to do something, don't even try to. Sometimes you see don't touch, you still want to touch. As Madam already mentioned, especially the machines. You've seen don't touch on it, you still want to touch it. You don't know how to operate it, yet you still want to touch it. If you are not trained, you do not touch it. Use the right tools and equipment in the right way. This tool is supposed to be meant for A, B, C purposes. This is tool A used for ABC. You are using tool C, which is not supposed to be meant for that. Something can happen, and if that happens, it's your own headache. That is where I come back to all accidents are preventable. So you could have prevented that from happening if you had used the right tool. Then the sixth one is access the risk before you approach your work. So what you are going into, is it risky? What are the risks? What could happen? Just like going into business, some people think, oh, what if I make a loss? They make risk assessments, and then they call this
safety policy.
Yes. So before you do something, you have to assess it before you go into it. Never wear loose clothes or slippery footwear. Yes, loose clothes. Those who work with machines or anything that attracts air. If you are in loose clothes, it can easily pull you, and then the unforeseen will happen. No one knows what can happen. So if you are working in a factory or anywhere that has those kind of machines that attracts things closer to itself, you shouldn't wear loose clothes, and don't wear slippery footwear. You can slip and fall. There could be a pool of water on the floor.
Wear heels. You shouldn't wear heels.
It depends on. It depends. Yes, it depends. Do not indulge in horseplay while at work, running around chasing each other. No. Practice good housekeeping. Yes, sometimes you visit some premises and, well, they're doing the right thing, everything is all right, but then you look at the premises and you go like, this place doesn't look like human beings work here. And then you ask yourself, if I were to be sleeping here, would I sleep comfortable? Because the whole place is full of cobwebs, the floor is dirty, you have rubbish thrown all over the place, when there's actually a dustbin for that. So housekeeping is very, very important. Then we also have always wear PPEs. So you try as much as possible to wear your protective equipment. Those working at the fuel and gas stations, please, when you are done performing ablution or anything that you don't need your safety boots, or right after you are done, you go back and put on the boots.
Yeah.
Sometimes you visit some of the stations and they are wearing slippers, and you ask them, where are your safety boots? And they go like, oh, it's here, I performed ablution. You are done with the prayers, just put it back on and then go back. Because if you start, serving, and then a vehicle steps on your feet, what happens next? Well, the work will continue, but you might spend the rest of your days at the hospital or probably in a wheelchair. Only God knows the severity of the accident. Then the last one, which is the 11th, it says 3 causes of accidents. I didn't think, I didn't see, and I didn't know. These are the 3 causes of accidents. I didn't think it would have done this. I didn't think it would have done that.
I thought she was to pass.
Yes. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see this. I didn't see that. Then I didn't know. If you don't know, don't touch. Okay. So those are the 11 rules.
If you don't
for
know,
workplace.
don't touch. 11 rules for workplace safety. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back. So it's important to know that being safe is not just about having the malaria, the COVID-19 and all of that, but how we behave or act when we are at the workplace is very important for every person who is working. I want us to come to schools. How can we make schools safe for our children, even though you're looking at occupational staff? So how can teachers, it's also their factory.
Yes.
How can teachers also be able to stay safe for themselves and for their kids, especially those like in lower primary? Because sometimes some of them easily, like you might, they sleep, and then parents too, the kind of shoes you wear your kids when they are going to school. Some school uniforms too can be some way, and the child cannot breathe and all of that. So just take us through that, then we can easily wrap up on that.
When it comes to schools, we have some aspect that we are in charge, but the rest are left to the Ministry of Education.
Yeah, so what is the aspect that you are in charge of?
Where they use gases, this and LP gas to cook for them.
That's a kitchen and a catering department.
We have the responsibility
to
go to inspect the
but how about the technical and vocational school? Because they use a lot of technical things, they use a lot of these things, and they are and they should be able to have the knowledge on how to stay safe with this equipment. Like I mean, you go in that regard by maybe going to the schools to educate them on how they can stay and all of that.
No, those as for the technical institutions, we do inspect them, and where they fall short, we'll bring them to light, or we educate them. This is what you're supposed to do. But when it comes to these educational complexes, we don't have
that much information on that as well. Nashra, take us through for kids. What do you think parents should know before they take their kids to school? Teachers during the school sessions, how should they handle some of those things?
Well, for the kids, that one I leave that to the parents. The parents should try as much as possible not to give those let the kids wear, you know, shoes they are comfortable in. Comfortable in. Sometimes you see a kid walking and it's not so comfortable. You can say this kid is not comfortable. They
buy shoes that you can wear for 2 years, and uniforms that you have to drag on the floor and all of that.
Yeah. So you try as much as possible to put them in comfortable shoes, and then with the issue of their snack and lunch. Well, let me just say lunch. Just try to pack something for them instead of they going to school and going out of school. Yes, out of school compound to go to buy food. Yes, so it's very important for the parents to try to get the necessary things for their kids to take to school.
You went through the 11 rules, but have you gone through the prevention measures? I think I didn't see you go through this.
I didn't go through this. Yes, so this one is just it's about lifting.
Okay.
The right way to lift something from the floor. Okay. A lot of us do this.
We don't.
A lot of us do this.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. Sorry, this
is
wrong.
This is the right way.
This is the right way.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to stand there and just lift the thing. I'm supposed to
come back.
Yes, you could.
How many of us can remember and do that?
And anything that is above 50 kilograms shouldn't be lifted
by a human being.
50. So those doing Ghana's strongest.
They are
killing themselves. They end up having long-term effects. They will not notice it till
No, but they're able to also go for therapy and then to see the.
But they have long-term. There's a long-term effect. Yes.
Okay, I think you've not gone through this.
Yes, that's a good housekeeping. Are your finished products neatly packed? That is those who deal with products.
For example, pure water, they should be packed on pallets.
On pallets,
not on the bare floor.
Wait, say that again.
This. Are your finished products neatly packed?
Okay.
So that is to those who are into products.
Production.
Warehouses and then
how they pack them and how it can be safe for them.
Yes. Sometimes you enter a warehouse and you see that the goods or whatever they packed up to the roof,
without any metallic ladder for them.
So
they use the same
products.
I don't know how they call it.
The boxes.
The boxes of products as ladder.
To get to the top. Step on it to get to the top.
So any list you are down.
That's true.
You try to educate and they say, we've been doing this for a long time. We are used to it. We can climb. It will not fall. Let me do it for you to see. And it's such a challenge.
And it's too long. I don't think you can.
It's an abstract.
That's an abstract.
That's the abstract.
As we're saying.
That's the active we're talking about.
Yes.
No, even this is an abstract. It's not the whole act.
I know, right? No, I'm saying that one cry is even plenty like that.
So
Imagine the main thing. Okay, and I think they've looked at this one, how we can always keep our eyes. I see this a lot in Tamale. A lot of people who are welding, they don't cover their eyes, or they just use the normal spectacles they buy, and which is not good for your health. As people that want to stay long in life, let's be very much careful. And of course, to the trainers or to the masters, in as much as that you think that there is no money, but I think you should invest in getting your apprentices or your trainees enough PPEs, because that's what is going to help them to work effective and longer. Give us your final words, and then we'll be able to your final words. What everything that you didn't say about occupational health and safety, say it in your final words so we can wrap up.
Well, we are grateful that you've given us this platform to at least showcase the image of the department. The Department of Factories Inspectorate, we are not enemies to the occupier. We are there to help, because our work is always tripartite in nature. That is, it involves the government, the employer, and the employee. And our aim is to make sure standard measures are maintained at all workplaces to make sure all workers are protected. So that is the main aim of
is to make sure that all workers are protected. Give us your final words.
Well, basically what I would just add to is that you are responsible for your own safety. Don't assume this person should do this, this person should do that. If you see something, if you feel there's a hazard around, in your own way, just try to, curb it. Don't let it cause an accident. And if you know it's not your field, report. Some people don't like reporting accidents or incidents. Yes, or they feel something
the image of the organization.
Yes, you try as much
so you
as
can also
possible.
report if you. I think there was a story one time where somebody kept their hand in a factory and it cut their ankle.
It was.
Thankfully, I think was it Kolebu or Konfa, not like I think that the one in Accra. Yes, Kolebu. They did the surgery and they searched there. So it's possible to report such cases.
Yes, if it's the case you are saying, I think they reported it, we investigated, and then we came up with the cause and it was all sorted out.
All right, thank you very much. It's all been sorted out. Thank you very much, Department of Factories Inspectorate. Department of Factories Inspectorate. Where is your office in Tamale?
We call that the ministry building, where GRA they were located at first.
Where is that? Is it Customs?
Customs. The former building.
National Population Council.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are on the same floor with National Population Council.
Okay. Yeah. And then, do you have any contact details you want to? If people want to get in touch.
My number is 0553 47 7430.
Say it again.
0553 47 7430.
Okay, and yours?
050 495 1757.
Again.
050 495. I have two numbers, so it keeps confusing me.
Yes. Just share the one you want to share.
050 495 1757.
Okay, so people in the 5 modern wages can get in touch with you. Finally, look into your camera and tell the Ministry of Labor and what?
Employment and Labor Relations.
Employment and Labor Relations. What you need, just tell them. I won't say this one. Just look into the camera and tell them what you need. The Tamale office. What do you need to be done for you?
Tamale office. We are understaffed and we need more inspectors. And we are in May, and even we've not received any interest for the running of the office. That is a big challenge. So these are the major issues that are holding us from maybe reaching our target.
Natural.
I would always say the government should try as much as possible to revise our act. If our clients are not aware of us, there is no way we'll be able to do our work. So just revise the act and help us, let people know about the act so that we can actually do the right work for the government.
Okay, so we get to know about the act and do the right thing. And please, those who are operating illegally, when they get to your office, please cooperate with them. Give them the needed attention so that everything will be done accordingly. Thank you for watching the Reflection Show. If you want to sponsor the show, call us on 054-9578-512. You can get the number on the screen for amazing packages. My hair and makeup is by Egypt's Beauty Salon on the Google Road here in Tamale. You can get her contact as well on the screen. Today we are recording at the King David Sport here in Tamale. It's the should I say the biggest sport you can ever get, with live band, restaurants, amazing things. You just want to come in during the day or during the night for all your parties, etc. Just come here at the King David Sport here in Tamale on the Borga Road. My costume is by La Esther Clothing here in Tamale. You can get her contact as well on the screen. Thank you very much. My name is Martha Anabila. Do have a good night. Hello and welcome to Thoughts from Martha Inspires. I am Martha Anabila. Today I want to talk to you about what I have captioned, do you want to grow? There are lots of times we say, I want to grow, I want to become bigger in this, I want to become bigger in that, but we don't plan ourselves for the price we have to pay. In your career, do you want to grow? Even in age, do you want to grow? In your Christian life, do you want to grow? In your business, do you want to grow? Are you ready for the price, for the disappointment, the issues that comes with growth? As you are growing, are you sure that you want to grow? Because growth is painful, growth is selfish, growth is annoying, growth is something that will make you feel uncomfortable. Every business person understands that if you want to grow, you have to make a lot of sacrifices. Are you ready for that kind of sacrifice? Are you sure that you want to grow? In whatever endeavor you are partaking in life, I want you to understand that there is a price that you have to pay for you to grow. Sometimes we are like, oh, I want to grow, I want to do this, I want to do that, but we have forgotten that there is a serious price that we have to pay for us to grow, and we end up thinking that, oh, because this didn't work and that didn't work, I am quitting. If you want to grow, you have to be ready for the price, be ready for the sacrifices, the disappointment, the pain, the anger that comes with growth. Growth is not easy. And as every young person watching me today, understand that there is this kind of pain, emotional pain, psychological pain that you will encounter at every level of your growth. So if you are growing in business, you are growing in health, you are growing in age, in any way that you are growing, understand that there will be challenges, there will be issues. People will leave you, they will become angry with you, and they will hurt you. But you know what? There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever you are going through, whatever issues you are facing, is part of the growth that you are seeking for. It's part of the growth that you are hoping for. So be able to understand that you need to pay for the price. Pay for the price. And the price comes in different ways. The price comes differently from different people. Somebody can be paying the price differently, but you will not pay the same price. So if you want to compare your growth with other people's growth, then you would never be able to grow in the way you have to grow, because growth is different. Grow gracefully. Grow graciously. Grow according to your strength. Do not copy people's growth. Grow because it's something that is going to make you outstanding. It's something that's going to make you great and amazing and wonderful. Growth is good. Growth is wonderful. But do not copy how people grow, because your endeavors and your growth would never be the same as other people would grow. So if you want to grow, understand the process, understand the mandate, and grow in that endeavor. Don't say, oh, 2-3 years, nothing is coming on, I'm not seeing profit, I'm not seeing that. Growth is painful, growth is annoying, growth it's something that is not pleasant. Growth is not easy. I believe that if you have watched this episode, you've understood that you have to go through the process of growth and be the best version of yourself, and don't compare any other person. Thank you for watching today's episode on Thoughts from Martha Inspires. I am Martha Anabila. See you next time.